UFOs are coming out of the shadows. Reports of Navy pilots encountering unidentified aerial phenomena have made the news, and more videos are coming. We all have heard the cover stories, but what is really going on? John D'Souza, a former FBI agent who was tasked with investigating paranormal cases, gives his take on the truth underlying these encounters. But what exactly does this whistleblower reveal? Are these videos all a part of the deep state controlling the narrative on ufology to push the fake alien invasion agenda? All this and more will be unveiled in today's episode. Speculation about extraterrestrial beings coming to Earth and potentially colonizing our planet, as humans have done to one another for millenniums, has long been fuel for movies and pulp novels. But fiction or not, the military has also been intrigued by the idea. Americans' fixation with UFOs has its roots in July 1947. According to UFO enthusiasts, that's when the U.S. Air Force allegedly recovered an alien spacecraft and its occupants near Roswell, NM. As with more recent efforts, the U.S. military worked to determine whether an alien force had arrived on our planet, or whether the sightings potentially indicated unexpected gains in aeronautics and engineering by some rival power. As speculation about that incident grew, the Army Intelligence Corps went on a search for former Third Reich aerospace designers who were said to have created a flying disc. That same year, the Air Force started a program to investigate UFO sightings, called Project Blue Book. Over the next 2 decades, 12,618 strange sightings were reported to the project. When it was phased out in 1969, around 700 sightings were still categorized as unidentified. One of the most compelling cases during this period is the Westall UFO encounter in Melbourne, Australia, in 1966. Hundreds of students and faculty at 2 schools reportedly witnessed a UFO landing in a nearby field. Despite the large number of witnesses, the Australian government attributed the sighting to misidentification of a weather balloon. In the United States, the Betty and Barney Hill abduction case of 1961 also gained significant attention. The Hills reported being taken aboard a UFO and examined by humanoid beings, an event later detailed in the book The Interrupted Journey. The case remains one of the most famous alleged alien abductions in history. The 1980s and 1990s witnessed several notable UFO incidents that garnered international media coverage. One such incident occurred in Belgium during the late 1980s, known as the Belgian UFO wave. From November 1989 to April 1990, hundreds of sightings were reported, including by police officers and military personnel. Witnesses described triangular-shaped craft with bright lights maneuvering silently, but no definitive explanation was ever provided. In 1997, the Phoenix Lights incident captivated the public when thousands of people in Phoenix, Arizona, reported seeing a series of lights in a V-shaped formation moving silently across the sky. The U.S. military later claimed the lights were flares from an exercise, but many witnesses disagreed, pointing to the size, shape, and behavior of the objects they observed. Advancements in technology and the proliferation of smartphones have led to an increase in UFO sightings captured on camera. One of the most notable recent incidents occurred in 2004, when U.S. Navy pilots encountered unidentified aerial phenomena off the coast of California. The encounters, known as the Tic Tac UFO incident, due to the shape of the objects described, were later confirmed by the U.S. military and became the subject of widespread media coverage and official investigation. Between 2014 and 2015, seasoned pilots in the U.S. Navy experienced a number of harrowing encounters with UFOs during training missions in the U.S. These incidents and investigations mostly went unreported to the broader public until December 2017, when the New York Times reported the existence of the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. More recently, in 2019, the U.S. Navy confirmed the authenticity of leaked videos showing encounters between Navy aircraft and unidentified aerial objects. These videos, captured by infrared cameras, show objects exhibiting unusual flight characteristics and acceleration patterns that defy current known technology. That sparked a new wave of interest in UFOs among the public, the media, and even scientists. In August 2020, the Pentagon announced the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force to improve its understanding of and gain insight into the nature and origins of the unidentified objects. In April 2021, the Navy confirmed video of unidentified objects buzzing U.S. warships near California. The incident would be added to the list of sightings under investigation. In June, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, or DNI, airborne clutter, natural atmospheric phenomena, public and private aerospace developmental programs, foreign adversary systems, and a catch-all other bin. In April 2022, the Pentagon announced the formation of the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office to investigate objects that might pose a threat to national security. The following June, NASA announced it was setting up an independent study program to cover the issue from a scientific perspective. In the words of David Spergel, the study team leader, "We will be identifying what data, from civilians, government, nonprofits, companies, exists, what else we should try to collect, and how to best analyze it." And 2022 also brought another acronym change. Unidentified aerial phenomena are now officially called Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. Whatever is happening up above, it still hasn't entirely been explained. The DNI released a follow-up report in June 2023, identifying an additional 510 sightings, of which 171 remained unexplained. In those cases, unidentified craft often appear to have demonstrated unusual flight characteristics or performance capabilities, the report said. Most explosively, a former intelligence official named David Grush came forward in June with a whistleblower report alleging the U.S. government was in possession of intact and partially intact vehicles from UFO crash sites. The craft, he said, were of non-human origin. But he also said he had never personally seen the objects, and the sightings, and the investigations continue. But now, in a stunning revelation, John D'Souza's background as an FBI agent involved working on high-profile cases. He maintained a top-secret security clearance for over 25 years as he investigated paranormal experiences. His unique position within the FBI allowed him access to classified files and first-hand accounts that have shaped his current understanding of the UFO and alien phenomena. His work often intersects with conspiracy theories and speculative insights into the shadowy operations of government agencies. During that time, he collected what he calls the real-life X-Files. And now, he comes forward to reveal results from his investigations into paranormal phenomena, including UFO sightings and encounters with strange beings. One of D'Souza's most controversial claims is that many recent UFO sightings, such as the widely publicized Navy Tic Tac encounters, are actually part of a sophisticated government psyop. He suggests that these sightings involve advanced human-made technology designed to appear as extraterrestrial craft. According to D'Souza, the goal of these operations is to manipulate public perception and prepare the populace for a false flag event involving a fake alien invasion.
What we're going to see is that we're going to see these Tic Tacs, also called UAPs, that's the new terminology, as well as we're going to see them engaging civilian ships and vessels in a hostile, aggressive manner. They may not be killing people yet, but they will do things to disable ships. They will actually have a real physical confrontation. Because at this point, they need to ratchet up the fear more than they have. It can't be just this. Oh, the Tic Tacs appeared and slid and then disappeared. They will have to raise that level.
D'Souza's assertions are grounded in his belief that certain factions within the government are interested in maintaining control over the narrative surrounding UFOs and aliens. By creating a climate of fear and uncertainty, these groups can implement measures that would otherwise be unacceptable to the public. D'Souza points to the increasing number of government disclosures and hearings on UFOs as part of this broader strategy.
My calling is to show people that they already have what they need to move up. The first and biggest lie has been debunked, that this material facade is all there is. Then we must awaken to our own supernatural abilities. These skills must then be tied to faith and belief. Faith and supernatural abilities will then determine everything in life and beyond.
The plans for Project Bluebeam were first revealed in 1994 by a Canadian journalist named Serge Monast, who, as is often the case in the best conspiracies, was later found dead under suspicious circumstances. According to Monast, the purpose of the program is basically to create holograms and project them on a planetary scale. Using the sky as a screen, images of angels, gods, and all kinds of divinities will be projected that will speak directly to the citizens of each town. Wherever you believe in Christ, Jesus will appear to you. Where they believe in Buddha, Buddha, to the Arabs, Allah. And so, all are segmented as Facebook does with advertising campaigns. The idea is to falsify the arrival of a new Messiah who comes to unite all of humanity under a new and now true religion. Do you remember when we believed in many gods and, at one point in history, someone came to suggest that we had to put aside Zeus, Aphrodite, Bacchus, and start believing only in a single new representative of a single creator? Almighty? Well, it's happening again. According to conspiracy theorists, Project Bluebeam has 3 stages. The first is already underway. It implies collapsing all kinds of existing archaeological and scientific knowledge, something to alter the evidence that in the future could disprove them. We have been culturally prepared for years to think that an alien invasion may be possible. Even an alien savior may be possible. And, although there is no proof yet, most are tempted to say that we are not alone in the universe. The second step, that's where the Blu-ray comes in. It's a gigantic space show. 3D optical holograms with super surround sound and multiple laser projections interacting at the same time in the skies of different parts of the world. This new image of God will speak in all languages. They say that the system has already been tested. There are reports that holographic projections of holy images were seen in some remote desert areas. With this device, you could also project extraterrestrial ships, aliens, monsters, or whatever is necessary for the effect you want to achieve. After that, we go directly to what they call electronic two-way telepathic communication. With low-frequency waves emitted directly to the brain, they will make each person believe what they want, such as that their own God is speaking to them in particular. The goal of this last step is also the materialization of ghosts, spectral apparitions that are supposed to push the population into a wave of wild alienation that could end with unbridled killings, suicides, and survivors at risk of permanent psychological disorder. A downturn. During this process, it is believed that the emergence of a global wave of crime and permanent social chaos is likely, to which should be added the holy wars that are unleashed by the resistance that this new religion and this new Messiah will provoke. They calculate a loss of human life on a scale never before seen in our history. Although, anyway, that would not be such a problem because we remember that the depopulation of the planet is one of the central objectives of what they call the New World Order. Since lately, many UFO sightings have been observed in various parts of the world, Tijuana in Mexico, various parts of the United States among the population, by decreeing that we are at the gates of an alien invasion. It is possible that, indeed, the Blu-ray has been activated and we are in the second phase of the plan for a world change. Another significant aspect of D'Souza's revelations involves the nature of the beings behind UFO sightings. Contrary to the popular image of aliens as beings from distant planets, D'Souza argues that many UFOs are piloted by extra-dimensional entities. These beings, he claims, operate in a realm that intersects with our own, but remains largely invisible to human senses. D'Souza's theories are supported by his access to historical FBI files, including a notable report from 1947 in which an informant described aliens as other dimensional beings whose craft were empty and remotely controlled. This report, according to D'Souza, indicated that these entities were here for peaceful purposes and advised against engaging them militarily. Besides, the former special agent also delves into the idea that ancient technologies and structures play a crucial role in the current UFO phenomena. He believes that ancient moon bases, for example, will soon be reactivated and brought to life. These bases, constructed by unknown civilizations, are part of a broader cosmic landscape that humanity is only beginning to understand. He suggests that these ancient technologies are not just relics of the past, but are integral to the operations of the extra-dimensional beings he describes. The reactivation of these technologies could signal a new phase in human-alien interactions, one that might reveal deeper truths about our place in the universe. In addition to his theories on UFOs and aliens, D'Souza discusses the use of advanced technologies for mind control. He highlights the existence of voice-to-skull technology, which can transmit voices directly into a person's mind. This technology, he claims, has been used in various government operations to manipulate and control individuals. D'Souza warns that such technologies are part of a broader toolkit employed by shadowy government agencies to maintain control over the populace. By inducing fear and confusion, these technologies can effectively suppress dissent, and believes this will be used as a pretext to implement draconian measures and further consolidate governmental control. His warnings are intended to alert the public to the potential misuse of power and the dangers of blindly accepting official narratives. In short, John D'Souza's revelations about aliens and UFOs offer a fascinating. Whether or not one agrees with his theories, D'Souza's work underscores the importance of critical thinking and the need to remain vigilant against potential abuses of power. As the conversation around UFOs and extraterrestrial life continues to evolve, voices like D'Souza's will undoubtedly play a crucial role in shaping the discourse. Beside D'Souza, there's a growing willingness to entertain all possible explanations, including the alien hypothesis for such encounters. For example, in July 2021, Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb and colleagues announced a venture called to be a body trapped by the sun's gravity. This strange out-of-town or wildly varied the amount of light it reflected, indicating it had an extreme shape, most likely that of a flat pancake the size of a football pitch. The most striking thing about Oumuamua was that it wasn't moving like a body influenced solely by the sun's gravity. Something was pushing it away from the sun. Comets outgas material, and this acts like a rocket exhaust, pushing them in the opposite direction. But Loeb says that Oumuamua showed no evidence of material for little green men. The existence of one object like Oumuamua from beyond the solar system implies there should be others. And in September 2020 SO was discovered by Pan-STARRS. Like Oumuamua, it was being pushed from the sun without apparent cometary outgassing. However, when astronomers tracked its orbit back through time, they found that the intelligent civilization it had come from was none other than ours. 2020 so appears to be the discarded Centaur upper stage of the rocket that propelled NASA's Surveyor 2 lander to the moon in 1966. Not surprisingly, Loeb's suggestion that Oumuamua was an alien artifact was controversial. However, for Loeb, he found it odd that astronomers were prepared to propose exotic things never seen before, such as a hydrogen iceberg, a chip of frozen nitrogen, or a cloud of dust particles 100 times more rarefied than air, but were upset by the suggestion that Oumuamua may have come from an extraterrestrial civilization. Today, while still well out of the scientific mainstream, Loeb's notion is less outer today than it would have been just a decade or so ago, largely because of the exoplanet revolution. On the other hand, in recent years, astronomers have learned that roughly 20% of the Milky Way's 200 billion or so stars probably harbor a rocky planet in their habitable zone, the range of orbital distances in which liquid water could exist on a world's surface. And a world doesn't have to be in the habitable zone to harbor habitable environments. Multiple moons in our own solar system, such as Jupiter's Europa and Saturn's Enceladus, sport huge oceans beneath their icy shells, after all. Given the recently discovered abundance of habitable zone exoplanets with potential for extraterrestrial life, hunting for aliens has captivated scientists and enthusiasts alike for decades. The quest involves a combination of scientific exploration, technological innovation, and philosophical inquiry. But when looking for life beyond Earth, we are faced with two possibilities. We might find basic microbial life hiding somewhere in our solar system, or we will identify signals from intelligent life somewhere far away. Unlike in Star Wars, we're not talking far, far away in another galaxy, but rather around other nearby stars. It is this second possibility which really excites me and should excite you too. A detection of intelligent life would fundamentally change how we see ourselves in the universe. In the last 80 years, programs dedicated to the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI, have worked tirelessly searching for cosmic hellos in the form of radio signals. The reason we think any intelligent life would communicate via radio waves is due to the waves' ability to travel vast distances through space, rarely interacting with the dust and gas in between stars. If anything out there is trying to communicate, it's a pretty fair bet they would do it through radio waves. One of the most exciting searches to date is Breakthrough Listen, the largest scientific research program dedicated to looking for evidence of intelligent life beyond Earth. This is one of many projects funded by US-based Israeli entrepreneurs Julia and Yuri Milner, with some serious dollars attached. Over a 10-year period, a total amount of $100 million will be invested in this effort, and they have a mighty big task at hand. Breakthrough. Listen is currently targeting the closest 1 million stars in the hope of identifying any unnatural alien-made radio signals. Using telescopes around the globe, from the 64-meter Muryang dish, Parkes, here in Australia, to the 64-antenna Meerkat array in South Africa, the search is one of epic proportions. But it isn't the only one. Hiding away in the Cascade Mountains north of San Francisco sits the Allen Telescope Array, the first radio telescope built from the ground up specifically for SETI use. This unique facility is another exciting project, able to search for signals every day of the year. This project is currently upgrading the hardware and software on the original dish, including the ability to target several stars at once. This is a part of the non-profit research organization, the SETI Institute. The SETI Institute is also looking for signals that would be best explained as space lasers. Some astronomers hypothesize that intelligent beings might use massive lasers to communicate or even to propel spacecraft. This is because even here on Earth, we're investigating laser communication and laser-propelled light sails. To search for these mysterious flashes in the night sky, we need specialty instruments in locations around the globe, which are currently being developed and deployed. This is a research area I'm excited to watch progress and eagerly await results. As of now, sadly, no alien laser signals have been found yet. It's always interesting to ponder who or what might be living out in the universe, but there is one problem we must overcome to meet or communicate with aliens. It's the speed of light. Everything we rely on to communicate via space requires light, and it can only travel so fast. This is where my optimism for finding intelligent life begins to fade. The universe is big, really big. To put it in perspective, humans started using radio waves to communicate across large distances in 1901. That first transatlantic signal has only traveled 122 light years, reaching just 0.0005% of the stars in our Milky Way. Did your optimism just fade too? That is okay, because here is the wonderful thing. We don't have to find life to know it is out there somewhere. When we consider the trillions of galaxies, septillion of stars, and likely many more planets just in the observable universe, it feels near impossible that we are alone. We can't fully constrain the parameters we need to estimate how many other life forms might be out there, as famously proposed by Frank Drake. But using our best estimates and simulations, the current best answer to this is tens of thousands of possible civilizations out there. The universe might even be infinite, but that is too much for my brain to comprehend on a weekday. So, despite keenly listening for signals, we might not find intelligent life in our lifetimes. But there is hope for aliens yet. The ones hiding in plain sight on the planetary bodies of our solar system. In the coming decades, we'll explore the moons of Jupiter and Saturn like never before, with missions hunting to find traces of basic life. In addition, Mars will continue to be explored. The planet next door may be freezing cold, but it's the hottest place in the search for life beyond Earth. Humans have sent more spacecraft to study Mars than any other planet beyond Earth, in large part because of its potential past, and maybe even present, habitability. The surface of Mars is inhospitably cold, with average temperatures of -63 degrees Celsius or -81 degrees Fahrenheit, and has low atmospheric pressure. This combination means that liquid water is not stable at the surface. Because liquid water is one of the only things all life forms on Earth have in common, when we look for life beyond our planet, we focus on places where liquid water is present. On its surface, Mars does not seem to be a habitable world. But Mars wasn't always this inhospitable to life. In these conditions, surface water and life could have been possible. In fact, there is strong evidence that between 3 and 4 billion years ago, Mars had liquid water on its surface. We can see valleys carved by rivers, pebbles that formed in streams, and piles of sediment that could have come from basins and deltas. Missions like NASA's Curiosity rover have determined that some portions of Mars were habitable for at least some periods of time long ago. NASA's Perseverance rover is searching for signs that life may have existed during that habitable period. It is exploring Jezero Crater, a former lakebed and river delta, to look for ancient life immortalized in microscopic fossils. Perseverance is also stowing samples for future missions to return to Earth, where laboratories around the world will be able to study them in greater depth. There is also a chance that microbial life could exist on Mars today, perhaps under the planet. In the future, by reaching into progressively deeper layers of Mars, investigators may first encounter spores associated with a relatively recent geological era, and by going to even greater depths, they might even find fully vegetative microbes. But no matter what they find, one burning question still remains. What will happen if a space agency discloses the discovery of alien life? It is certainly possible that the realization that Earthlings are not the only life form out there will be kept under tight wraps, at least until details can be clarified. But one can still hope that such an announcement, if and when it goes public, could be celebrated as the glue that unifies our lonely, anxious species in these trying times. The discovery of extraterrestrial life, if it ever happens, just may present the perfect opportunity for humans to take a step back from our earthly divisions, forcing us to reframe our dissonant voices into a singular, planet-wide harmony. That's all the information that we have for you today. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you never miss out on future episodes. And be sure to also tell us what you think about today's content. Everyone's support motivates us to continue delivering quality content and to always improve. As always, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.